play around with different quads. I have toy quads, I have hobby grade quads, I have professional quads, I have the Tarantula, toy grade, I have the x380 toy grade, and the little guy here is the Predator by Hobby Stone. Professional grade, I have the Phantom Standard in this bag, and high-end hobby grade is the x380, which I'm going to start right now. First, this one right here reminds me of a Harley Davidson. It's not as smooth as the Phantom. It rides rough, but it's powerful. And it goes 1,000 meters, which I don't really go that far. I do line of sight. I don't have an FPV on it. A lot of people in different forums do, and they go pretty far. I've seen people from China going very high, over 400 feet, which I don't do, because in the United States we can't. We keep it under 400, which is fine with me. A lot of times I keep it around 200, which is also fine with me. Alright, so we're going to start the transmitter. Get my glasses on. Now this is recording. Always turn on the transmitter first. And I'm going to then power on the x380. She hasn't been on for a while because I've been kind of spoiled with the Phantom 3. So she's probably jealous that I have a new girlfriend. And it's calibrating, looking for GPS. We'll let it sit there for a little bit, quietly, looking for GPS. Sorry about that. I think I hit the camera. A lot of times you have to wait patiently until it catches. Right now it has green and red. It doesn't have sufficient satellite yet. When it gets green, it becomes completely locked on to all the satellites. Like we see now, it's double green lights. That means it has all the satellites. I want to calibrate the transmitter first because I haven't used the transmitter for a while, and I'm pretty old school. I write everything down because I forget. That's what happens when you're in your 40s. Alright, so we're gonna calibrate the transmitter. And the thing about calibrating the transmitter, you want blinking red light. And that's really important. You must have blinking red light, or else you're not really calibrating the transmitter. And to do that, you hold this left stick diagonally across like so. I hope you can see that. And then you toggle the go home switch until it starts blinking red. And then you start calibrating by moving the stick left, right, and then stop. And then you should be calibrated. It goes back to that's calibration on the transmitter. You have to have that blinking red light to let you know that it's waiting for you to move the sticks in counterclockwise and clockwise rotation, and then go back to blinking green light to let you know that it's locked in GPS. So the next thing we have to do is calibrate the compass, which is pretty straightforward. I know all you guys pretty much know how to do this. You hold this stick, same stick, but not diagonal, straight down. And you hit this until you get a steady green, like so. Then you rotate counterclockwise. I do it 2 times. shit of it. Okay. And you hit the same, and then we're gonna go clockwise. And this is a pain. This is the shape of this quad. You don't want to drop this while you're doing this. And my gimbal goes bananas, goes bonkers, because it's upside down like this. But this is what we gotta do. And then we put it down. And then we toggle. And we wait for blinking green. And there we go. So technically, she is now set. Transmitter calibrated. And GPS lock. And compass calibration's done. Now we can go and fly. But before we fly, we have to turn on the camera. We adjust the gimbal too. My gimbal has been turned the wrong direction because I did that compass calibration and it just went bonkers. Let's turn on the camera. And do I have the camera on? So just, again. Sorry about that. Just level that up. Yeah, it looks like it's level. That down and it up. And it's good to have like a piece of level wood. This is actually a chair from my daughter when she was 3. Now she's 10, so she doesn't need it anymore. Alright, so it's kind of level. It's not perfect. The Phantom 3 is such a better gimbal. It has 3 axes. This is 2 axes, but it's good enough. I'm going to arm the motors. I like to use a clock on it, even though it says 25 minutes of flight time. That's a fantasy. It's in the perfect conditions. We're not in perfect conditions. I have a gimbal. It's windy. It's about 10 miles per hour wind. So it's not perfect conditions. So I have a little app here that gives me a clock. I set it for, let's do 9 minutes. I have other quads to do today. Okay, see, little clock app here is actually a kitchen timer. It works good. Okay, so we're going to arm the motors. She's armed. She looks good. Now you can use takeoff manual. I don't like to do everything my control, so I actually bring it up and hover for a little bit to see how she's doing. I let her work it out. The winds, GPS. She's trying to get a lot of wind right now because it is windy, but she's holding her position. She's doing good. Just making sure she's doing alright. Watch her for a little bit. She's not liking that wind, that's for sure. There's a windmill you can see over there that it's going through. She actually dropped a little bit. Alright, so we'll take her up. And have a good flight, X380. And she's about 60 meters up right now. Now she's about 100 feet. looking good. Those lights are important. It's telling me they're locked in GPS, which is good. People forget to look at the indications. These things actually talk to you. They're letting you know their status, and your job as a pilot is to always look at the status of the quadcopter. More capable, but not educated enough, and eventually they become educated and they become pilots. But like everything else, we have to learn. I mean, I didn't know how to fly until I taught and read on it, and all the rules, that, you know, the laws. We have to stay on top of the laws, and we have to fly safely at all times. So she is flying really well today. I haven't flown her for a while. Like I said before, I was really spoiled with the oh shoot, I got a plane coming down, so we're gonna bring her down. When you see that happening, we'll bring it down. His plane's really low to the ground. See, when you see airplanes like that, you bring it down. Just, even though that plane's higher than you just bring it down. Because this quad is capable of doing 1,000 feet easily. And I do not want to be in the way of any airplane. That's why we keep it under 400 feet by FAA laws. And this quad right now is about 180 feet, which is way below the airspace of airplanes. And there's a lot of guys I watch on YouTube. DJ So, I love that guy. He's a great guy. And he got Phantom Standard too, and he also has an x380. He calls this the limo, and the x380 is the limo, and the Phantom is the stretch limo, and I agree. I'm going to bring up the Phantom later on a little bit. But it is flying really well. And always keep them, like I said before, keep the line of sight when you don't have FPV, of course. And even with FPV, you should always keep a line of sight too. I don't really trust goggles myself. I'd rather use monitors on top of the transmitter if I had to use FPV, which I do with the Phantom. I use my smartphone. Things to look at in the bottom. I mean, mean, I could bring it up a little higher if I wanted to, but you know, again, that takes more battery power, and it's fighting wind. So right now it's like 190 feet, about 70 meters. Now it's about 220 feet now. Forward pitch, I'm bringing her down. Forward pitch, bringing her down. Kind of like an airplane coming in for an airport. We're going to circle the airport. And we're coming down, getting ready for a landing. So we're circling the airport. Bringing it down, forward pitch, and manually bringing her down. Excuse me. And that's how I bring her down. Let me shut this off. Really nice quad. There's a lot of homework involved with this quad. It's not 100% ready out of the box. You have to do your homework on it. Really, the instructions on it is really crap. There's a lot of Chinese instructions, and mixed with English and mostly Chinese and horrible broken English. And we had to do a lot of research on it. So I'm going to bring her down. I'm going to use the takeoff button, which is also used for automatic landing. I'm doing it right now. Hit this button right here. As you see, the red lights are blinking, letting me know she's on automatic takedown. And she'll disarm, and she's disarming her motors. Now, when she lands, the first thing you want to do is remove the batteries first. If you shut off the transmitter, you could have a return to home happen to you and it will fly up and hit you in the face, God forbid. But return to home in front of you is dangerous. So you shut off the battery first and shut off the transmitter. And don't forget the camera. And we got that. So x380. Again, do your homework on it. The instructions on this quad is not that great.